Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be when she's unsure of your interest or fears you don't care. So I've got an email. This is from a 34-year-old viewer. He says he's been following me since 2015. So that'd be about 7 years. Thanks for sticking around. And his girlfriend of 1 year is 24. And so this is an interesting email because these are the kinds of advanced type of things that you're going to encounter. And why I always say you got to learn the relationship stuff that's in the back of the book, especially the 10 disciplines of love. And this guy does a pretty good job of handling this, but he still is kind of not sure what's really going on. And so what I liked about this email is in my book, women tend to take little things and go, ah. It's up to us as men to go, oh, shoo, shrink those into, hey, it's not a big deal. James Bond has got this. We got you, babe. And so it's an art. It's not a robotic way to respond because if you're applying, remember, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. If the woman becomes unclear or unsure of your interest, she reaches out to seek that attention, reassurance, validation that you love her, you care about her, you celebrate her, you're grateful she's with you, that kind of thing. And you're grateful for what you have. And so there's some of that going there because they live, I guess they live somewhere in the Midwest, as he says, and she's got family on the East Coast, like Boston area, and so she's mentioned she wants to move back there, and that's supposed to take place potentially in the spring. But he also is a little concerned is her interest in me dropping because of some of the things that she brings up. So again, these are advanced things that guys that are in relationships, long-term relationships, are going to be dealing with. And that's why I say these things are so important to learn how to handle, because so many times when I do phone sessions or I see emails, guys learn the pickup stuff, the dating stuff, and then you never really pay attention to the relationship stuff because so much of it overlaps. I'm like, hey, I got this. I don't need this. I can fix this myself. No problem. I don't need to read the book 10 to 15 times. I'm special. I'm more intelligent than the rest of the guys that follow Corey. So, I mean, the reality is you got to learn the fundamentals. If you don't know the fundamentals, you're going to have success that's going to be hard to sustain. So with that said, let's go through his email. He says, hi, Coach. Big fan. Been listening since about 2015. I read the book and often listen to it on audio. It's brought me great results, and I've begun to embody the concepts. Well, that's why you read it 10 to 15 times, because you don't have to think about it anymore. You get to know it so well, you could literally teach a class on it yourself. And you need to understand the wisdom that well, so when things like this happen, boom, you know exactly how to respond instantaneously in the moment. You're not going, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I hold back? Should I not call her? What? You don't want to be that way because you turn into a robot, and the girl's like, you're acting weird. You're acting robotic. You're not acting natural. And we want to be natural, easy, and effortless. He says, I've run into an issue with my girlfriend and I want your advice. I'm 34 and she's 24 and we've been together for a year, and I let her do the majority of the pursuing and bring up being exclusive. She wants to have sex more than any girl I've ever been with. And as you may have heard me say many times, that's if you apply this in your long-term relationships, that's what's going to happen. The girl is going to be wanting sex more than you. I know a lot of guys are like, that sounds foreign, but if she's always chasing you, always pursuing you, she likes it better that way. Because then when she's, I'm unsure, then you're like, babe, I love you, I adore you, of course. You're the most important person in the world to me. Oh, he's so sweet. He's the best boyfriend and husband in the whole wide world. And I feel like she puts in more effort than any girl I've been with prior because she cares and because you're treating her right. He says, about 5 or 6 months ago, she told me she wanted to move to the East Coast to be closer to family. So at the end of the day, if she's head over heels in love with you, as much as she may want to be with her family, she's not going to like the idea of being away from you. And so I've done countless phone sessions over the years and videos about this topic. And the only reason a guy should move if his girl is going to move or wants to move is because he wants to live in the same place she does. He just likes it better. He's not moving there to please her or moving there because he's hoping that'll keep her from leaving him, because if he does that, I guarantee you she'll leave him. Done lots of phone sessions with guys that did that. The only reason for a man to relocate is because he actually wants to live in that particular city or geographical region or country or whatever. He says, I've actually been looking to leave the Midwest for a while, so I told her if I like Boston, we meet each other's family beforehand, and we feel good about it, I would move too, but only with separate apartments at first. I can work remotely, so work isn't an issue. So he's open to moving, and I like his attitude because he's like, hey, I may like Boston, I may not. I want to see how it goes. In other words, he's not like, yes, Your Highness, I'm going to move wherever you are, baby. I love you. I don't want to lose you, like they do in the movies. He's just like, I'll see how it goes. We'll each have our own places. So in other words, the probationary period is still ongoing, even if he moves. So it's good. It's the right mindset. He says, last night, and so this is where it comes into play. Last night, after I left her apartment, she texts me saying that she has been upset. What do you mean, babe? Why are you upset? What are you upset about? Remember, this is where when a woman feels heard and understood, the leg's open. And when she doesn't, the leg's closed. If a man cares, he's going to say, babe, why are you upset? If he doesn't, he's going to be like, babe, I'm tired. Let's talk about tomorrow. Or he's like, oh, you're just getting emotional all the time. I'm going to bed. I don't have time for this. We just had a good night. What are you doing? What do you mean you're upset? We just had a great evening. What are you talking about? Guys that don't know any better are going to be reacting that way. But the 3% men are like, aha, this is my cue. What does she mean? What does she want? Why is she upset? Because when you care, you ask. And if you don't, you don't ask. Which would make it worse. Remember, women are like the weather. They need love and reassurance. And the bottom line is when a woman's too sure of herself, she kind of takes it for granted and kind of gets bored like the kitty cat does and is not as excited to be around you. But if she's unsure, even though you can ask this to most women, they'll say, it's 50-50. I want to be totally unsure. That's not true, Corey. The scientific fact is women like a guy more if they think they like him more than he likes her. That's just reality. I didn't make him that way. I know a lot of women get upset when I say that, but it's reality. And here's more confirmation of it. This is why it's so next to impossible for women to be able to give guys good, meaningful advice that's useful. I mean, that's why Sigmund Freud, the inventor of modern psychology, or one of the inventors of it, if you will, was like, one question I haven't been able to answer my whole entire life and do the study of the human mind is, what the heck does a woman want? He says, so I called her and asked her what was wrong, because he cares and he's a good boyfriend. She asked me if I, quote, really want to be with her, or do I just want any girl? Now, if you take a step back, you're going to be thinking, well, that's kind of ridiculous. We just had sex for an hour, and as we're laying in each other's arms, we're exchanging I love yous, and then an hour later, she's like, do you really want to be with me, or do you just want any girl? In other words, am I special to you? Do you love me? Do you care about me? Am I the most important person in the world to you? That's all she's looking for. I was like, of course, babe. Of course you are. You're better than sliced bread. He says, I tried to dig to understand why she felt that way. Now remember, this only applies in this particular moment in time. So 6 months from now, you don't look back at this conversation and go, aha! It's just like Mother Nature. And so what is Mother Nature doing right now? He says, according to her, I didn't initiate sex enough. So she's taking that as he doesn't care about me as much as I care about him because I'm way hornier than he is. And so she just needs reassurance, of course. Remember the analogy from the book when my girlfriend's daughter, when she was little, would go and play, and then she'd come sit in my lap for a while, ask me some questions, get some reassurance, some love, some hugs and some kisses, and then she'd go jumping up and down like a jumping jack with her nieces and nephews and neighbors. And then a while later, she'd come back. So this is kind of the same thing. So as an adult, she's unsure of herself and she wants to see if daddy cares. And that's what's going on. So that's what she's saying. Daddy, do you love me as much as I love you? According to her, I don't initiate sex enough and I don't say I love you enough. So a guy that doesn't know any better is going to, I told you I love you before I left. I tell you I love you all the time. That's logic and reason and basically invalidating her feelings. And so the way you handle it is you don't take it personally. You don't get butthurt. She says, you don't say I love you enough. So that tells me she's not completely sure that I really love her. All she's doing is seeking validation that you really do. It's nothing to get upset or butthurt over. Because if you get mad and angry, then she's going to take that personally and it's going to make her feel like you don't care, which is the opposite. And then you create problems where now you got distance unnecessarily because of how you reacted. He says, I thought this was sort of odd. Bro, it's not odd at all. It's just how women are. Because even though I don't always initiate sex, I absolutely love her body. So, because logic, he's going, what? How can she say I don't love her enough? What? I'm always all over. What? And so you're getting wrapped up in that. And all she's really saying is, do you love me? Do you care? Because I'm not sure you do. Oh, he loves me. Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, you're the best boyfriend ever. He says, I absolutely love her body, so I can't keep my hands off of her, and we still have sex multiple times a week regardless. Well, statistically speaking, healthy long-term relationships usually are having sex at least 3 times a week or more. If you're having it once a week or every couple of weeks, statistically speaking, that's not a good sign. He says, I acknowledge that I could say I love you more and will. Just remember to make sure she's saying it more than you. Because if she complains, it shows she cares. If she's not complaining, it means she doesn't give a damn. But the good news is she cares, so her interest is high. That's why she's bringing it up, because she's unsure of herself, and she's got big things going on. She's thinking about a move. What if I move and he doesn't want to move? What if I move there and he doesn't come with me? Then we're going to break up. Oh, my God. That's the end of the world. And that's what's probably going through her mind, is she's worried because, you're, 4 or 5 months away from potentially moving, and she's not sure you're going to actually move or not. He says she also revealed that she has a lot of anxiety about the move in the spring. What was I just saying? So she's getting overwhelmed. She's going, ah! And you're like, babe, we got this. It'll be fine. I got you. Just like James Bond, you come in and you handle it. So he says she worries that our age gap puts me on a faster course to marriage, and she doesn't want to get married until she's 30. So I would take that in this instance that you're going to want to get married before her, and she's not ready, and therefore you may leave her. The musings of a woman who's unsure of herself. He says, I pointed out I've never asked her about marriage and even want separate apartments when we moved, to which she replied, quote, you're the least pressuring boyfriend I've had. It's good. It's all good. I reassured her that I wanted to be with her, and she even texted me after, I love you so much. Congratulations, dude. You handled it appropriately. He says, so I do care for this girl and can see myself going the distance with her, but actions speak louder than words. She's decided to risk the relationship by moving and suddenly has all these doubts. Bro, this is the way women are. It's like, oh, he loves me, cares about me. We're going to live happily ever after. Woo. Are these doubts present because I don't show enough love? No, she's a chick, bro. This is how they are. It's Mother Nature. It's the way it is. Don't take it personally. It's like the little girl going, oh, does daddy love me? Daddy, do you love me? Of course, babe. You're my number one. Oh, daddy loves me. Daddy loves me. Daddy loves me. I'm his number one. Or is her heart not in it? Her heart's definitely in it. Because if it wasn't in it, she wouldn't be asking and she wouldn't care. She wouldn't be wanting sex more than you, bro. So, and she just doesn't have the courage to tell me she only saw this as temporary. Nah. You're misinterpreting. See, this is part of the problem. You're getting all wrapped up in her emotions and thinking, oh, it's the end of the world. So you're getting wrapped up in the instead of being calm, cool, and collected like James Bond. It's like, we got this, babe. We can do anything together. So, like I said, that all I see here is she was just looking for reassurance. And probably more than likely, especially as you get closer, she's going to need more reassurance. The important thing is that you only moved to Boston because you want to move there. And see how things go. So I'm sure in the back of her mind, that's what it sounds like. She's probably worrying that she'll end up moving and you won't. So it's kind of in a way she's fishing around. Well, he's more into marriage. I want to get married when I'm 30. Well, at least that's what she thinks. She's 24. When she hits 25, 26, things are going to change for her biologically. And she'll start, babies. Oh, babies. Babies. Oh, there's a baby. 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 Oh, so cute, babies. I want a baby. It just happens. It happens. Mid-20s, mid-20s to early 30s, it's like, that's like, whoop. The biological pressure really kicks in. So overall, dude, you're doing great. But like I said, these are the kinds of things that when you haven't been through it enough, or you don't know the 10 disciplines of love and all that, it's like you're kind of taking things personally as a potential rejection, when in reality, she's just unsure of herself and needs reassurance. And quite frankly, going forward, she's going to need more of it. Doesn't mean you completely change how you're showing up. It just means a little bit more I love yous. But again, pay attention to how often she's doing it to you. And it's always better if she's saying I love you more than you are. Because then she can complain, and then you can pick her up and reassure her. Just like the little girl sitting in daddy's lap needs reassurance. This is what it looks like in an adult relationship. She needs reassurance from her man. He says, of course I love you. Everything's going to be fine. I thought it all through. I figured it all out. We're going to be okay. And then remember, what does she say? I love you so much. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't life beautiful? Aren't love stories beautiful? So if you got a question or challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.